What's going on? What's the word? It's about to awakening, heard all over the world. What's going on? Kimbo, Natata Nzambi, Yamazulu. Also to Mama Ndombe, we honor and acknowledge the 7 archangels, the 4 creatures, the 42 judges of the kingdom of Zulu, our elevated Bakulu of the light, elevated healers and warriors of the light, our elevated mercenaries of the light. Welcome, family, on YouTube and on Facebook. We thank you for being with us again. And to the community here with us on Zoom, it's good to see all of you. Welcome. And Siami, Mbote, Habari Zazubui. Well, what we're going to talk about, this is coffee talk. Coffee talk. So I got my coffee. I know the mug probably looked bigger than my head. And I had asked, you all just, let's relax and let's talk, let's discuss. This discussion came about. I was having a discussion with Mama Brenda, and we were talking about Jesus and the 12 disciples. Now, she was doing some research on one thing, and throughout that research, we just came across this discussion. And I thought she said it, but she told me I said it. I guess it's that getting older thing. But what I said to her was, the Bible talks about him having 12 disciples. And he said in the Bible, now I'm going strictly Bible right now, okay? And we know that the Bible has been manipulated and tampered with. We know this, but just bear with me. He said, I am only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Asolele. Now, with that said, I said to her, he had 12 disciples that he taught, which brings about a question to me. 12. There were 12 tribes, 12 kingdoms that were Asolele. Why would he have 12 disciples if he was sent to the lost sheep of Asolele? So when you begin to kind of really look into this and look beyond the lies that was placed in the Bible, what came up was this. He was teaching the 12 kingdoms, the 12 tribes. All right. Now, you want to add something real quick, Elder, or it was going through your head?
Something just came to me that each one person from each tribe who he was giving instructions to. That just came to me.
Now, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought about that same thing. Okay. Now, when you look at the Bible, we see that it says Matthew was from the tribe of Levi. Okay. It said he was a tax collector. I took time out yesterday to just Google Who came from what tribe? And do you not know that when I Google, I don't have my paper with me, forgive me, I wrote it down. But when I Googled, it said that Matthew, and bear with me, but this is what showed. In one article, it said Matthew was from the tribe of Levi. In another article, it said Matthew was from the tribe of Benjamin. And this is what it did for every disciple. They came from 2 or 3 different tribes. Each article had a different tribe for these disciples. They even said Judas Iscariot was from the tribe of Judah. Let that one sink in. Why do I say let that sink in? It's because through research, Judas wasn't even a part. He wasn't even one of them. And when I say one of them, I'm talking about Bantu. Through research, he was the one that turned against Jesus. Okay? So I'm like, man, they really duped us, you know, and I said, so, okay, he came and he was teaching Yesiah, that's who we call him, Yesiah, was teaching the 12 tribes, which is why he consistently moved around. Now, when he said, go out into all the earth, and he said, Jesus, make disciples. That's not so. We're not supposed to be disciples. But you go out into all the earth and you teach this truth. To who? To your brothers and sisters who've been scattered. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Comment so far, anyone?
Maybe they're not real. Maybe they're not real people.
Just like Jesus?
Yeah, you know, since that the Bible, the New Testament was written so many years after the New Testament, they may not even be real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they may have made up those names because they really didn't have Bantu names.
I agree. There were no Bantu names. Go ahead.
And also, by the time that they were putting together the quote unquote New Testament, the deception at that time was running rampant by the Mandela, Constantine, and all those that met together to try to put quote unquote the Bible together.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying that, and I'm just asking a question, even though I already know the answer, but for the people who are listening, are you saying that these people like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, were they fiction characters that were made up?
I think so.
I do too.
It's possible.
So it's like reading a novel. Like if I wrote a novel or something and I just say so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that, and I just make up names just for people just to read and believe, not even to even believe, just to make up a story. You think that's what they did?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Very interesting.
You know, again, they have to deceive us. They have to keep us from knowing who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So to make up anything, they will do anything to keep us from knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Brenda just said something, as you were asking your question. Brenda said, look at what they say about the Bible. The greatest story ever told.
Ever told.
Story.
Story, right.
Story.
Yeah, that story of Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
Story.
Yes. And he is a made up character.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Like
Okay.
a lifetime, like like how they have the Lifetime movies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Made
Yes.
up.
Yes. Now, for those who are questioning what I just said about Jesus, let me explain. The Bible gives the description of the Most High. It even gives a description of the color of Yesiah's feet. I want to get this camera here. Make sure to get you in there. Now, the description that it gives, it clearly tells us that they're melanated. Okay.
Yes.
That's in Revelation. They're melanated. But when they give you Jesus, you had this white boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he has long blonde hair. But the description in Revelation said that the hair is like wool.
Woolly.
White,
Mm-hmm.
like wool.
Oh.
Okay. So they throw this white boy in your face with blue eyes and looking all,
frail.
Yes.
Gay like.
Gay.
I was gonna terminology and say feminine looking.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, let me go there real quick. When you look at the KKK, the KKK say to be fully white, you have to have blue eyes.
Oh
boy.
What fall down and die if they realize where those blue eyes actually did come from, because it didn't come from them. It's been researched and documented. They have them in Africa where it originated from. Their scientists.
Yeah. Right? With that melanated skin, that looks beautiful.
Well, it makes sense. We being the original people, correct? So we've been here millions of years before anybody ever came. This is documented. You can find this. It may be a little hard to find, but you can find this before anybody was ever on the face of the earth. You found the melanated man, us, and nobody else. So if we were the original men, then everything as far as genetic wise have to come from us, right? That is why they said that even in Europeans, you'll find a very minute amount of melanin within them. Why?
Go on.
Exactly.
That's enough said on that. So
and it makes sense. It makes sense that you would find a very minute amount in them, because remember, the fallen, they came and said, let us take wives from the daughters of men.
Yes.
Okay. So they were all melanated. And I love what Elder Jabbalani said. I say this ever so often. When the fallen came and made it with the daughters of men, the melanated women, the fallen lost their melanin. All right. Now, you remember that, Queen Tamara, yeah. Because it was a question that you asked.
Yeah. Sounds like they were cursed.
Exactly. Boom. Boom.
the black man, right? The melanated man was cursed. Well, if this melanin is cursed, I have some questions to ask them. Why is it that the scientists of today are researching melanin for all types of scientific inventions for them? Not only astronaut, so-called astronaut suits to go out in space, but also in suntan lotion, and also it's in a numerous thing in technology, in medicine. You can research this. They are looking at this is in the National Institute of Health. They have an article talking about the components of melanin and what it is and how they can use it, and the many methods of how they can use it. But yet melanin is supposed to be a curse, but it sounds like to me, I'm using their terminology, it's a blessing unto the world.
They need us to survive.
Right.
Okay, that's why some of their females are coming to our men.
And vice versa.
Okay, so they can survive. That's what the fallen did. So, okay. So now, going back to these 12, I want to ask you all a question. And I'm not just throwing stuff out here or anything like that, so don't feel intimidated, please. But when you think of the number 12, what comes to your mind?
12 months.
The zodiac.
Okay, we got 12 months. We got zodiacs. Anything else?
The 12 sons.
12 sons. The 12 tribes.
12
yes.
tribes.
Anyone else? How about
12 disciples?
Okay. And I'm telling you, this is very significant. It do me like that too. It shouldn't take long.
Just little notes. This was nothing. I'm quite sure Nzambi told you all. This was nothing that we researched. It was just as we were discussing some things was just being revealed to us, and I was like, this could be a good discussion that we could have. And so this was Thursday. So this morning we started discussing about it more, and we just started getting revelations about certain things, and I started researching the things that was coming to us. And I said, I gotta make notes. I have to make notes on PowerPoint for me. That he said, well, you do what you do. That's you. That's how you operate. So that's what I did. And that's what I'm trying to pull up. Just some little notes that I made, just reminders for us to talk on. And he said, we're gonna let the spirit flow. So I said, yes, we're going to do that, because that's what was happening when we were talking. As we were talking, things was coming to us and was being revealed to us by way of the spirit. We're like, whoa, whoa. So he said, allow the spirit to flow and speak to us in this here lesson for today. And I said, yes. I said, that's when it's more powerful too. Well, both of them are, because when I have my PowerPoint, things are coming to me by revelation as well, and I'm just putting them down. So, but anyway.
Yep. Now, Mama Doris says 12 heavens. Okay. Now the number 12 is very significant. Is very significant. Does anyone know or have an idea of what the meaning of number 12 is? In a spiritual sense, any idea? Her computer acting crazy. I'm sorry. Okay.
Not gonna let me in it.
Try going out completely. Okay. So, okay. 12, we know that it says I'm sorry, you all. It says that it's governmental rule.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. We have, someone had said I think it was you, Nkosi Silverback, the 12 zodiac signs. Now, the church, when they talk about the zodiac, horoscope, they say it's sorcery, and we should not be paying any attention to it at all.
Yeah.
So dismiss all the so-called zodiac signs. And you went out. It is messing with her. It won't let her log in. And okay. And so I was almost lost my train of thought. Okay, well, anyway, we know that the 12, it says,
Here it is.
Yeah,
yeah. All right. So it's governmental rule, it's structure, it is it's order. Okay. So this is why we have the 12 kingdoms. Now, if you all remember in Revelation, there was the woman. There was the woman that was in travail. And she had some stars that was above her head.
Oh, stars.
How many stars was it?
12
12.
for the 12 kingdoms.
Where you at?
I'm in there.
She's right there.
There you are. Okay, 12 stars. So it moved. Okay. And so I'm sorry, y'all. And so under her feet, it said that there was the moon. Now, we know that the moon represents the feminine.
Feminine.
Yep.
All right. So that's something that's very significant. I think that might be Silverback.
Yes.
If you mind muting for a minute?
Okay.
I'm just testing. Okay. Matondo. It would be getting some feedback. So that is very significant, that she being the female with the moon under her feet, and the moon represents the feminine energy. But she had 12 stars, like a crown that was around her head. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you take it. Okay. And again, this is a discussion. So, we want you all to jump in.
Some notes that I took
I'm gonna go
for
warm my
myself,
coffee up.
some things that I just kind of quickly went over. Some things we have already went over. You all have been talking about the 12 disciples, but actually we're talking about the number 12. And how we got on this, we were just talking about the word Christ and what it actually means, and where it come from, and it led into the 12 disciples. And Nzambi said, those 12 disciples were our people. Just out the blue, he said 12 kingdoms. He said it's the 12 kingdoms. I said, that's a good point. I said, maybe that's something we could discuss. So that's how we led into where we are talking about the 12 disciples, or the number 12. And number 12 represents cosmic order when you look at it. You all talked about how you have the different 12. You have the 12 kingdoms of the Solele. You have the 12 days of Christmas. You have the 12 swords around the crown. You have the 12 months. You have the 12 zodiac signs. You have the 12 astrological signs, or times, or era, etc. So the number, let me make this here small. So the number 12 stands for cosmic order, the order of the cosmos. And it stands for, it says, this is something I have found out, I just thought it was interesting, ultimate success through struggle and strife. Now think about what we as a people, we have been through. We've been through a lot of struggle, a lot of strife, but out of this struggle and strife, it's going to be birth success. So that's why I found this very interesting. So again, the 12, you have the 12 disciples, 12 months of the year, 12 inches in a foot, 12 days of Christmas, the 12 ages of astrological ages, and we're in the age of Aquarius right now. And it's very interesting what what it represents and what it's symbolic of with the water pitch and everything. We even discussed that and talked about that. I'm sorry. And and in Revelation 22:2, it was interesting how I came upon this. I kept saying Revelation, what was that? 22, and it was 12 that I was supposed to be looking at. I kept saying 22, no, 12, I'm 12 and 2. I said, why I keep saying 12? And I went to it, and that's when I came up and found this passage that said, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, moon, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head 12 stars. So that was them leading me to also, baby, there's the 12 stars. Because I just kept saying, why I keep saying 12 and 2 instead of 22 and 2 in Revelation? And this came up. So you have the 12 tree of life in the book of Revelation with the tree of life that bears the 12 different types of fruits, right? And the number 12, again, is the number of cosmos or order. So, Brother Silverback, you have a comment?
You're muted.
Unmute yourself.
You guys are traversing into deadly conversations here.
Well, you know, hey, the truth.
Hold on. Go ahead.
You guys gonna get me in trouble. But yes, the 12, the number 12 is a very, very important in our spirituality. All right, as a being, okay. When you are initiated in Palo, when you become an initiate, you become a palarea, because I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. But that number is the transformation. You become an Nganga, okay? You become an Nganga when you transform, when you go back to the order. And when the spirit of Baba Mungu comes into you, that's what they say, you become an Nganga.
Revealed to me, I was at work and I said, let me write it down, because I know when y'all telling me stuff, I forget. And you talk about Nganga. Nganga means master teacher, right? When you look at a cosmogram, you see first you have a line, right, in the circle, right? That's our cosmogram. And then below you have the Mpemba, and above you have the, what do they call it? I can't remember the Bantu word for, but you have the physical world that we live in, right? And so inside of that, you have a V that they talk about. When that man reaches, like you said, that point of spiritual maturity known as the master teacher of the Nganga. And I heard something say, didn't they call Jesus master? So why did they call him master? Because he was an Nganga. He had reached that highest level that was above the people that he was speaking to. And when you actually look inside our cosmogram, you will see that the Nganga is in there. And this is what was revealed to me when I was at work. You have the Nganga that's inside of that is the representative between the above and the below for the community of our people, right? So it was important that we had the master teacher among us, which is whom they called Jesus. Yesiah was amongst our people, the 12 kingdom. He was a master teacher, the Nganga, teaching us our way. He was telling us to go back to our way, because
there you go.
You always already had the Romans that were ruling at that time. And before the Romans, you had the Greeks, and the Greeks learned at the feet of our ancestors. So in Kemet, you also had our people, the Bantu, that was ruling. So when you look at Kemet and the cosmology of Kemet, or the spiritual essence of Kemet, you also looking at a mirror image of the teachings and the spiritual signs of the whole of Africa, also Bantu. So inside of that cosmogram, he is representative of and below, and as a mediator. And didn't we say that Christ was a mediator between this world and the heavenly world? So our writings, you can't the truth and understanding unless you are given an understanding from the spirit realm.
Yes.
So this about Christ actually is what we're supposed to be.
Come on.
Become, but because we had a disruption in our cosmic order, and we're going to get into that cosmic order, we're not able to fulfill that at this moment, but we're transitioning to that point again where we will be able to, as he talked about, be initiated and become that nganga, a master teacher. And when you look at the Kikongo word for doctor, also you see Kikongo. You see nganga as well. Didn't they call him a healer? You see that as well. And didn't they call him master healer? Didn't they call him the healer, the great physician? See, all of these things you had within our community. Each different people had different aspects of it that they are talking about. You had some that were healers and some that were the scientists, right? Am I right?
Yes.
So all of this is our spiritual science that they put in the Bible and corrupted. And I heard you all talking about when I was making my tea, which I got to go and get, by the way. I don't drink coffee. I'm a tea connoisseur. So, and I make my tea. I put a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So don't ask me what I drink because it goes by the feeling. I may have this and this and this in here today, and tomorrow maybe something else. But anyway, and I think Elder get a kick out of this because he was in the law enforcement. We have a friend of ours that was like a chaplain on the law enforcement. Y'all have those, right?
Yes.
Okay. He was over our house one day and he was telling me about how he was having trouble sleep because a lot of people that he has to go to the scene of the crime when they're, and so when he would go, a lot of times he would see people that were related to him, and he started having, some issues dealing with that. And so they told him he was dealing with depression, etc. He was saying that he was having issues sleeping. I said, I got something for you. So I opened up my little cabinet. He came around. He said, oh, if the policeman came to y'all house, y'all would be arrested. No question asked. Because he don't see tea bags. He see bags of little herbs and stuff. That's just different teas that I be making up. So just to throw that little laughter in there. But I told him, I said, if it doesn't work, come back to me. I got something else I could give you. But apparently it worked. I was thinking when I came down here, I heard you all talking about the 12 and what else you all were talking about, and how the disciples, because their names we know are not the real names. We know they changed up names and places, etc. And they tried to change up time, right? So I heard Sister Brenda saying that that it was years afterwards that this Bible was written, the New Testament. And it is true. They said 40, some people say even 100 years after the death of Christ. And these people, they said after the last disciple, it was 40 years when that New Testament was written. 40 years after the last so-called disciple died, that this book was written. Now, why do we have it in Greek when these people supposedly, quote unquote, are Hebrew? So we need to start asking questions and stop just going with the narrative that we have been fed over the years. I know, talking to our family and friends that are still in organized religion, one thing that I hear is hard for them to accept the fact that We've been lied to all these years. Even though when you giving them the truth, and they say, I understand that and I see that, and you even use the scripture to show them, for some reason, it's hard for them to grasp that truth. Have y'all experienced that?
Yes.
And it can be
Definitely.
very, very frustrating, you know? So, whew, I said a lot. Anybody got any questions or comments on what I said? Come on, Silverback, you got a comment. I see it. Brother Evan, you next.
You know, I love how you guys approach our spirituality, because our intuition is highly overlooked as a people, you know. Our intuition is very, very powerful, and the way you're approaching is you're asking questions that's very, very important, because most of this information, even though it's been right in front of our eyes, it just requires us having more of a focus. Like you said, you're going in and you're researching and you're connecting the dots, which is very, very, very important. You know, when I became an initiate of Palo, I didn't spend there too long. There were so many problems, and these problems are, what do you call it? Family problems. Okay, when my godfather initiated me, he said, "Your lineage there is so," and by the way, he's African American. Okay, and when he did my reading, he said in your lineage there is so much problems. Okay, and as time went on, eventually I kind of strayed away, and now I'm trying to reconnect with him. He's getting old, very old in age, and what I'm saying is that even though I spent a short time with him, a lot of my information is through the problems that I've had in the family spiritually. Again, I get attacked a tremendous amount. Last year, I was starting to feel the enemy's grasp, their connection, meaning nothing is random. Nothing in your environment is random. It's the enemy is a well-coordinated entity, well-coordinated.
Yes.
Very, very, very well.
Yes.
And when scripture says, pray to the Father to give you revelation, understand, my friend, you gotta pray. Even if you don't get it, keep praying for revelation and understanding. The Father is tremendous. Paul had a hard time trying to describe the Creator. He had a hard time.
Yes, we can never fully know who or what that life force that Ntu is, because it's so vast, it encompasses so much. That is why our ancestors used different things in nature, in the universe, to describe the creator, whom the Europeans could not understand these concepts and said that we or our ancestors had multiple gods. No, they understood that the creator was in everything. And I showed you all this last week with the Ntu, how it is in everything. The Ntu is in everything. That life force, it is in everything.
Yeah. I love what Mama Doris put in here. And it's so true. She said they associate Christianity with their identity. So when you question their religion, you make them question their identity, and you shake the foundation of everything they believe in.
And that's what we need to do, because when you shake something up in that foundation, it becomes unsettling, and it needs to be unsettled, and it needs to be destroyed from the foundation, as they say, from the rooter to the tutor. It needs to be destroyed, you all, because it has caused us to be in the state that we are in today. We are not the people we were created to be, you know. We're not.
No, we're not.
This is not who we were. We operate. I was having a conversation with this young man last night, And man, Nzambi, I got so deep in it, man, Nzambi started tapping my leg, and I felt that righteous indignation rising up in me, and I was like, "Don't stop me!" And I hit his leg back to let him know I'm not stopping. I'm going forth. When I got to start a little bit about our stuff we talk about, he couldn't say nothing. He started talking. We have to come together. I said, that's what I just described to you. You're describing exactly what I said. Ubuntu, ma'at.
You know, now I tapped her leg because that wasn't the place.
Nope.
It wasn't. You know. But anyway, you know, I was going to say this too. When going back to her, you know, talking about Messiah, or, you know, according to the Bible, Jesus, and, you know, the things that he was teaching. He also said, these things I do, you can do, and greater. Okay. He wasn't talking to the disciples. He was talking to us.
Right.
Yes.
You know, now the church will tell you he was teaching the disciples and all the mysteries, and, you know, all of this he was teaching to the disciples. It was to us. We are the ones that have the mysteries. We are the ones that is being opened and revealed to. Okay. So if you go and sit down with a white person that's in church, they're going to give you what they have been taught in Christianity. Our brothers and sisters who have been raised in Christianity, they're going to regurgitate the same thing. But when you start revealing to them and showing them their truth, or the truth, and who they are, they look at you. I'm talking about our brothers and sisters now. They'll get quiet and they'll look. They won't say nothing else. They'll just get quiet. Okay? A white person, I don't know, because I never had that conversation with them. As far as I'm concerned, it's none of their business as of now. Brother Aaron, you want to say something?
I told you.
Yeah. You just touched on something that I experienced earlier this week. You know, one of my coworkers, a colleague, and we were walking across campus earlier this week, and I can't quite recall how we got on the subject, but he was talking about his collection of various types of bourbon and wine, liquors, and things of that sort. And that's how we got on it. Yeah, he had attended some, private setting of, some new bourbon or something along those lines. So, but in any rate, he had mentioned that during COVID, and I believe we had heard this stat before, but he had said, man, I've accumulated so much alcohol over the course of, when COVID hit and the shutdown occurred. He said, I bought a whole bunch of bourbon and all this other stuff. And he said, I have so much of it. And he said, that's what he said. I found myself, purchasing a lot of liquor. And he said, and he asked me, he said, what did you do during COVID, during the shutdown? And I told him, I said, I really began to read the Bible and try to understand the scriptures. And I strengthened my relationship with my Father, the Most High. And that's verbatim what I said. If you could have seen the look on his face when I said that, that's when I knew that certain people don't have the spirit that we have. It was a complete look of astonishment and curiosity. He had this curious look to him, like, what do you mean? What does that mean? That's the look he had. Mm-hmm. And this is a Jewish guy, by the way. So, yeah. So
Interesting, very interesting.
yeah. So you had this I don't want to say it was an easy pause, but I can tell that he had more questions for me, and he was hesitant to ask. I can tell he wanted to ask more, but he just didn't know how. I can just feel that off of him. But just the look on his face was everything. It was like he had no clue. He had no clue.
Wow.
Yeah, he couldn't comprehend that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, doesn't scripture say that salvations come through us? They have it changed to Jews, but Jew didn't come around that word until what, 17th, 14th century, somewhere.
yeah, something.
Yeah, somewhere here or there. So that word was not even in the original text, right? So salvation comes through us as solele. So you were using that opportunity to do what we were supposed to be doing anyway, teaching them.
Yep.
You know, we've tried, as Dr. Henry Clark said, we've tried multiple times to try to teach them, to try to civilize them multiple times, and it just doesn't work. And you made a key point, because you said some people just don't have the makeup as we do. Some people are just not like us. I talked about, you weren't on the into. Not everybody has the into inside of them. Why is it? Okay, let me ask this question to you all. What group of people have been tortured to such extreme, even to this day, killed by legalized organizations such as the police, but yet they turn around and say, I forgive him, or I forgive her, or I forgive them? Who does this? What group of people does this?
Us.
Nobody else but us does this. Why? Like Brother Aaron, the comment that he made, other people just don't have that spiritual component that is within Muntu.
Nope.
We are the one that are created in the image and likeness of the Creator. I'm not trying to be racist or anything. I'm stating facts. Muntu is the one that has the Muntu inside of them.
Yes.
That's what's inside. That's why we can forgive, because we were the ones that was given the principles of Ubuntu and the principles of Ma'at. That was, the universe was founded upon. It is us.
Yes.
We have forgotten who we are, and we are now operating as they, but this is not who we are.
That's right.
Not our chemical, physical, psychological, spiritual makeup. Totally different, you all. And it's time that we rise up. And as on the walls of Kemet, it says, where they went into the temples, above it, it says, man, know thyself. It is time for us, Muntu, melanated men, all around the globe, to know who you are. Do not accept what has been told to you. You are this low-life animal that's swung on trees with no civilization and no history. You are the original man that civilization come from. Civilization means to civilize, to live with civility. We are the only people that have lived with civility. No other people today, the ones that right now that are currently losing power, have been in rule for about 1,000 years, and there have been nothing but chaos.
Yes.
Nothing but disorder.
Yes.
It's time for us to rise up again and to bring back order. And how do we do that? By bringing back our principles that our ancestors lived by, that holds up, that the universe, the Bible says in Genesis, that there was chaos, right? And out of this chaos came what? Order. And when you look up the principles of Ma'at, that's order. So we those are the principles that our ancestors use to govern, to rule, to live day to day, in and out. But because we have allowed ourselves to be duped, to be tricked, to be hoodwinked, to be deceived, to think that our ancestors and our ways are 1, primitive, 2, demonic, 3, evil. And we feel like their way is the better way. If it is the better way, why are we seeing constant wars? The wars. Why are we seeing them changing up the nature of things that Nku is in, like food and humans, trying to change them up into something that they weren't originally created to be, messing up with the genetic makeup of man and plants?
You know what? If you don't mind me interjecting here, you had mentioned about Ma'at, right? And the universe and everything being built, upon Ma'at. It struck me. Remember the scripture, and I may not quote it correctly, but the scripture that said that if the Solele didn't exist, then all the elements, the stars, everything would fall. They would cease to exist, right? Now, connect that with Ma'at. Connect it. When we were created, everything was created with Ma'at, with order. This is why we are not like them. This is why we're forgiving. This is why we love. Because what does Ma'at say? I have not. I will not. Okay? So we are created by Ma'at. It is within us. This is why we act the way we do. We don't have those characteristics of our former captives within us. We adopted them because we've lived among them for so many years.
Right.
But it's not who we are.
Right.
We are created in Ma'at. So if we no longer exist, then everything else will cease to exist, including Ma'at.
Which is justice, order, righteousness, fairness, those principles, the feminine aspect of the Ntu. So
I want to add, Mama Brenda, Elder Nzambi Zola, you just said Ma'at, right? And then you had to confirm, right? Who are you confirming to?
The spirit in you.
When you say I have not, who are you confirming to?
yourself.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we are that divine being.
Yes.
We connect back to the Father. So it's like it's all about us acknowledging ourselves. This is why the Father was very adamant about us not marrying, not being a part of those people. This is why the Father told Masa that you are on holy ground, take off your shoes. This is why he told him, who do I say sent me? He said, I am sent you. Basically, when we acknowledge ourselves, we don't need it to function. When we acknowledge ourselves, we operate within the Father.
Yes.
So we have to separate ourselves from these beings in order for us to become who we are as beings.
Yes,
This
I
is why
agree.
they always temper. That divide and conquer is real. That's all.
I agree. We in order for us to operate in who we are, we have to be separate from them. We see that we've lived amongst them. We over here anyway in the diaspora for over 400 plus years. And to this day, they have not accepted us for who we are. They still look at us with disdain as if we're nothing, as if we're beneath them. And that is why they treat us as such, like that. And that is why it's important for us to rise up and to be ye separate. The Bible even talks about that. to be ye separate from among them. So we have to be separate. Why? Because we are different, and we have to separate. Because when you come together, I was reading up talking about the energies, right? And so it was talking about raising your vibration. And it says that you have to be careful when you are around individuals that are operating in a very low vibration, because what will happen is it impacts your vibration. It will cause you to operate at a lower vibration. But it by the same token, it said that we too also can raise up their vibration as well too, by the same token. But it says when you're constantly around negative energy, it will impact you. And I remember reading on this here site that deals with our African spiritual science, and it was talking about watching certain movies. It said watching, movies with the evil connotation behind it, it impacts your vibration. And remember the song when we was in church, be careful little eyes what you see, and be careful little ears what you hear, for the Father up above. So we have to be careful with what we see, what we hear, because what we see goes into us, what we hear goes into us, and it impacts our spirit, our vibration.
Yes.
And so we were also talking about in the Bible how they use these negative, low vibrational words attributed to the Most High, which is not so. Fear and anger and all this. Oh, the God was angry. Those are low vibrations. Now we know that our ancestors of the light are not around these low vibrations. So why in the world would Ntu operate out of these low vibrations? So who is this Bible talking about then when it describes these low negative energies that they try to associate with Ntu, with Tata Nzambi, Baba Mungu, so Nini Nanini, and all the words that we use in Africa to describe the Creator? What are they talking about? What are they trying to describe? Because it is not the Creator.
Exactly. And I want to address something here, and I know that you had to get back to your the points that you were bringing out, but Mama Doris, you said something interesting here.
Let me get my tea.
Okay, all right. You said something very interesting here. You said we are Muntu are the whole reason this earthly plane was even created. Now, the reason I said it was interesting, I had this discussion with Mama Brenda, and I asked y'all to follow me on this, okay? In Genesis, we know that it is written that the Most High said, let us create man in our image after our likeness, right? He created man, and he also said, give him dominion over what?
The earth.
The earth. Now, with that said, you all know there is a difference between earth and world. All right. Now, these evil entities, what they're trying to do, and I know I'm getting into something that Mama Brenda's going to present. Okay. The evil entities, they talk about this new world order that they're trying to put across or go across the whole globe. Okay. Now, I said to Mama Brenda, I said, look at the wording. World. I said, you have the world of insects.
Yep.
You have the world of the fish.
Yep.
You have the world of the animals. So you have the world of the people. Okay. The world of man, human being, however you want to phrase it. Talking about those of us walk upright, talk to each other. Okay. Talking about us. All right. These evil entities are trying to control that world to get all of us to fall under them so that they will be looked upon as God.
So there's a usurp of authority.
Yes.
Right.
Here's the thing. They may try to control the world, but the earth has been given to us, which means we control everything that is within the earth. So the worlds are in the earth. So we control it. This is why, again, when you see Jesus, all the miracles he performed, told the sea to be still, peace be still, all this we know. He turned around and said, these things that I do, you can do.
You will do also more.
He controlled the worlds because the earth is given to him as well as to us. So what they're trying to do, what they're attempting to do, all we have to do is open our mouths and speak against it. That's the power that was given to us because we're created in the image, of the Most High, in the likeness of the Most High. When those evil entities see us, they see the Most High. They don't see you, elder. They see the Most High.
That's right.
They don't see Brother Aaron. They see the Most High. They don't see Queen Tamaria. They see the Most High. That's why we look at each other and say, Sawubona. I see the King in you.
Yes.
So my brothers and sisters, rise up. They're trying to keep us down. Rise up. They're trying to keep us ignorant. Rise up. Know who you are. Start speaking against what they're trying to do. All the stuff that they're putting together to try to destroy you and your seed, speak against it, that it will turn upon their heads and destroy them and their seed.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't have to take this laying down anymore. We know who we are. Walk in it. Walk in it. I'm not saying hold your head up, stick your chest out, because that is not of the Most High, to be proudful, to be boastful. No. Walk in assurity. Walk in certainty. I know who I am. I no longer fall under what you say I am. I know who I am. That's why that man looked at Aaron when he said what he did throughout COVID. He read the Bible to get a closer relationship with the Father. That's why the man looked at him. You know what? I'm sorry, baby. That man, when he shared with you in Kosi Aaron, when he shared with you what he did about all the bourbon and stuff that he purchased, that's who he is. That's who he is. He did what is natural to him. And but when you started telling him about what you did and getting a closer relationship to the Most High, that's who you are, because you did what is natural to you. I look at, and I'm gonna say this and shut up. I look at this this YouTube video sometimes when I'm just relaxing. You know, Brenda asked me, she said, "Are you thinking about cooking or something? What are you doing?" You know, I see this guy, he goes around, I think his channel is called Best Food Ever. And it's this white guy, goes around different countries and everything, eating food and stuff. Well, he was in Africa and he was in this area where, you know, a lot of them was doing grilling, you know, and had meat and they were drinking beer and stuff like that. And he said, look at this, everybody. He said, all this meat being grilled around here. He said, and they're drinking beer back there. He said, this is my kind of place. And I'm sitting there looking and I laughed to myself. I said, yeah, it is your kind of place. Because y'all are really meat eaters and beer drinkers. You take them to a bar, they are happy.
Yep. And they start at a young age,
Yes.
high school and college.
Yes.
Oh yeah, when we was in college, it was a whole street, nothing but bars. That's what Thursday night. That's where the Mundele kids, the Mundele students, that's where they went.
That's
all
what
the
we went.
bars.
Yep.
And you know, speaking of which, you all, some years ago, I told you all, so it's probably been about 6 years ago. We know that they're dying off. With several people have put in our groups, how is it Italy, Spain, one of those European countries over there have not have not had any children in 3 months. Well, in this webinar, I was at work and they were talking about how white people, particularly white males, are dying off in this webinar at work. And they had the slides showing what was causing their demise. And one of them was alcoholism. So you have to ask yourself this question. Even though they have it, it's majority in our neighborhood, but they're the one that's dying from it. So, you know, there's some universal laws. Whatever you put out, it comes back to you. So all the evil that has been done to us by whatever group of people, ethnicities, or nations, we're living now in the era where it's coming back on them. It's not saying that we are wishing death on anybody or we're wishing that somebody die or anything. This is a natural order, a natural law that the Bible says, whatever a man soweth,
that shall he reap.
That shall he reap. So if you kill by the sword,
you're gonna die by it.
you shall die by the sword.
That's right.
So all the evil that they have done to us is now coming back on a lot of these people. And we see it happening. And that's just the fact of the matter. And that's the law of order of reciprocity is what it's called.
Yes.
Yeah.
That there's order. There's orders. There's rulership, and different things that rule the cosmos. So that was one of the things. So I was saying, you have to ask yourself the question, why are they dying off from alcohol? So that means that they're drinking large amounts of alcohol that's causing these diseases to come upon. And alcohol is a central nervous system depressant. So it depresses you. People go to it because generally and drink because they're drinking away their cares of the world. Hence, they are in maybe a depressed state. You know, some more to a certain degree than others. So why are you drinking when you had the rulership of the world? Why are you drinking when you had the control of the resources of our land? Why are you so depressed?
Come on.
The Bible talks about this when it says that the things that the Most High gives us is easy. But when someone uses evil to acquire things, it's grievous. And I'm paraphrasing. So everything that they have taken it by evil means.
Yes.
And that evil is overtaking them.
Yeah.
And it is destroying them. And that is why they drink depressed. I heard a doctor say in the hospital, when I was working in the hospital, she said, I get my wine out every day, and I have to drink my wine every day after I get off of work. But yet you're supposed to be the one that's ruling in power. Why are you so depressed? Why you have to run to a central nervous system depressant like this?
Right. They have it, but they're so depressed and they're not happy with it.
What was that? I'm sorry.
You said they have it all and they're depressed. They're not happy with what they have.
It is because how they acquired it. That is my point in a nutshell of what I'm saying. Because how they acquired what they acquired, which doesn't belong to them, by the way, it was by evil force. That's why they're not happy.
Yeah.
They'll never be happy.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Now I was. Oh, okay. I'll get to that.
We can jump back on here. This is good.
So we talking about the number 12 and how the 12 is the cosmic order. 12 is the number of space and time, or again, cosmic order. And when the numbers 1 and 2 are added together, you get 3, right?
3.
So yes. And so that is the number that represents, it says the dimension and the plane in which we exist, right?
Yeah.
But we're rising up from that dimension, though. That's what's happening in the awakening that we're in. We're rising up from that dimension and going up to a higher dimension. And the number 12 encompasses the whole of the Trinity. Look at what it says here. The Father, the Mother, and the Son. Now here I have over here, this is way thousands of years older than Christianity. This is representative of the Trinity. What the Christian took and created the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and removed the Mother, the feminine. Right? So you see the Father, you see the Mother, and you see they have their hands and they have the child in the center, because when you have the feminine, you have the masculine, and they come together, that force creates. So that force, that force is the creator. Remember, in the teaching we were talking about in 2 last week, and how that the Germanic word for God, the Indo-European word for God, was neuter, and it changed to masculine when what? Christianity came on the scene. So that is why they had to change up and remove the Mother and put the Holy Spirit, which when you research it, it's still a feminine energy. So they hid it. And if you don't go dig, you won't see it. There has to be a masculine and a feminine side of that creative force. Because why? We are made in that image, both male and female. Right? So we're talking about cosmic order, and strong concordance, a definition of the word cosmos is order. The world. And it's used and inside of the Bible, or as the world, the universe, worldly affairs, the inhabitants of the world. It literally means something that is ordered. Something that is ordered properly, an ordered system. So Nzambi was talking about their phrase, the New World Order. Now they have changed up this phrase, you all. Let me show you how deceitful, cunningly deceitful they are. We have come, we got caught on to this world of this New World Order and what they're doing. All of us, all people, not just Mbute, but others, and what they're planning to do. So now you hear them saying, build back better. And the World Economic Forum came up with this. And their 2021, I think it's called 2021-2023 agenda during COVID. This word was created, you all, for them to promulgate their New World Order, or to build back better. There was a video that was surfacing, and they show all these different leaders. Joe was one of them. They were saying the exact same thing. The French, all of Canada, all of the head leaders of these countries. We're going to build back better. How is it that all of these world leaders are saying the exact same thing around the exact same time after the world has experienced something that was traumatic?
Catastrophic.
So order out of chaos. Remember that.
Yep.
So what they're doing is trying to make themselves to be what they are not. That's why you're hated, because they know that you are the gods. They know who you are, even though you may not know. They know that you are the gods. And so they're trying to usurp themselves in your position. In order to do that, they have to make you forget who you are and tell you your ways and who you are and your people and things that you all done is demonic and evil, and sadistic, it's backwards, etc. So that you would not want to be a part of it. And then you would step off of your throne, because your throne has been made to look like it's nothing. And once you step off your throne, they say, hey, now I can step up on this throne and rule. And that is what has happened. in a nutshell.
And,
And so,
and now
uh-huh.
and now they are really shaking because they're saying, oh my goodness, the real gods are waking up.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And you know, Brenda had said something, and one thing came back to me. She talked about the new world order, and I know I had mentioned that earlier too. New
Uh-huh.
world order. Why is everything new with them? Okay, I mean, and reason I say that is, look at the New Testament, and they talk about a new covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what they're doing is trying to implement what they want to take place and get rid of what the Most High has put in place.
To take place. Yes,
Right.
they're trying to play God.
Right.
So we can't let that happen, y'all.
You can look at everything that is starting to take place, how they have these incubators that are designed to mimic the woman's womb, and saying that you won't have to carry a child anymore. You can have your child in this incubator. How they are using science. Science now is I mean, not science, but medicine and healthcare. Biotechnology is what it's being really referred to now, because they are combining technology, genetics. They're altering genetics. They're using things that can alter your DNA, so to speak. They said to bring about healing. So they're changing up the order of everything. That's not what our ancestors did when they used the herbs and things. They didn't change up the order, your chemical makeup, your DNA, or any of those things. So they are trying to come with a new world order that is the direct opposite to Nzambi, the creator, the life force.
Yes.
They're trying to do the opposite of what is. So with you doing all this evil in the world, it's gonna the world, the earth, is gonna rise up and no longer take this. So hence you see that these different ethnicities of dying off, not just European, but you have the Chinese. They're pagan. They said that there are women, females going to school are being abducted and being taken into these birthing farms. And you all heard, I think that was Brother Mapanga, I do believe, that was talking about how they are infiltrating over in China. And yes, and they're not bringing any females. They're coming to mate with our females. Why? Because they don't have any females to mate. They know if they don't mate, they're going to die off. And also he was talking about how it's other reasons why they're doing this. And that's nothing new. They did that in Kemet. So they're trying to they're trying to eliminate us so that they can have dominion over this earth. As long as we're here, they can't fully have dominion, you all. They just can't.
Never have full dominion. They will not. Never.
So Revelation 12:1-2, and there appeared, Nzambi mentioned this, a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. The moon represents the feminine energy, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Those were our ancestors, the 12 kingdoms, you all. It was 12 kingdoms. That's what those 12 kingdoms were. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. Delivered from what? What was she crying for? Birthing for what? We're talking about revelation, a revealing of things. Talking about the birthing of the nations again to rule and reign. That's what it's talking about.
Where we are now, awakening and coming forth. This is the birth.
Have these last days spoken unto us by, you see his in parentheses, because his is talking about the creator. And you see things like that in italic or like that, they have added those. So his son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. And Nzambi was talking about the different worlds that was created by who? The creator. He said, hath in those last days spoken to who? His son. Through faith, and we're going to get on that a little bit more. Through faith, we understand the worlds were framed by the word of God. Words are nothing more than frequency. So the things which were seen were made by things that do not appear. You don't see them, but they're there. They exist. The Greek word in these two verses for world is whatever that Greek word, however you enunciate it, I don't know. But in English, it is translated as eon, which means an age. We're talking about worlds now here. Let's go back. He hath in those last days spoken to us by some whom he had appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. And we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, which means an age or a perpetuity of specific prevailing conditions in time upon the face of the earth. Therefore, the world, as doctrinally defined in the Bible, is not referring to other planets in outer space, but to defined ages, times, what they call in church, or say in church, dispensation.
There you go. There you go.
And prevailing conditions during those ages on the earth, be they past, present, or future. Y'all get that? Okay. Let's move on then. So we want to look at this word here, eon, okay? That they talk about here, which is translated here, the worlds.
You know, we use that word a lot. This has been going on for
eons. Yes, so let's look at that word that they have here in the Bible. There it is right there, spelled A-I-O-N, right? Well, English is that's the Greek. The English is E-O-N, and it comes from the Greek 104. So we're going to look at this here. So the word eon comes from the Greek word aeon, which means age. What? But it also means vital force. Y'all remember us talking about this last week? That was on?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Say it a little louder. What you said it.
Yes. Yeah, she said it. Say it again.
Into?
Yes, ma'am.
See, brother Silverback said, there's no way that we can really understand the fullness of the creators. It's no way, you all. We attempt with our words and the things around us to try to have an understanding, but it's no way. No way. Hey, this is one example. And it says, or eternity. Eternity. And the Bible talks about that. He was there in the beginning and the end, right? I'm the Alpha and Omega. I am the beginning and the end.
First and the last.
Yep.
Okay. In the 1640s, from late aeon, from Greek eon, age, vital force, a period of existence, a lifetime, a generation, a long space of time, in plural, eternity. Now, look at this, their root word. It comes from, pi means Proto-Indo-European. The root, A-I-W, of that word is vital force. Vital force. Vital force. It is defined as the energy, or as they say in church, the spirit, which animates living creatures and soul. Remember, I showed you the 4 different components that Ntu is in?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yes.
Hintu, the Muntu, the Hintu, the Kantu, all 4 things, right? And the Ntu was in all of them.
Yeah.
The energy which animates living creatures, the soul, Ntu, like Sister Brenda said.
Yep.
Which is inside of you. That's why we're referred to as Muntu. And I showed you not only amongst us Bantu is this concept, but it's all over Africa.
and they may have a different word, but it's the same principle, the same concept. They try to divide us and say, oh, I'm this and that. I say, but when you look at it, we come from a common ancestor, you all.
Yes.
We come from a common ancestor.
Noah.
No.
Mm-mm.
Who? This is our father. Africa, this life force created us.
Tata and Nzambi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going back to. That's what I'm referencing.
Vision was never a part of us. Never. Go
Not,
ahead, baby.
not until we became entwined and started, mixing with other people that don't look like us. That's why we look at things on an individual basis. It's all about me, my mind. Now that we have the European concept within us. But Ubuntu shows you that that was not our principle. Ma'at, the principles of a Ma'at, shows you that that is not how we operated. That is not how we live. But that's how we operate now. Even when someone, I was thinking about getting married, and they say, oh, I'm not marrying his family. I'm not marrying her family. But
Yes,
in
you
our culture, you are, because there's two families, two worlds that are coming
Joining.
together.
Yes.
Yep.
But they have taught us differently, you all.
Right.
Yes.
You see? And that's causing what? Division.
Division,
And-
friction.
Yes. And so I was telling Nzambi, I said, and Chrissy, we was talking about how different people that we were our friends when we were in Christianity, that we associated with, did things with, don't associate with us anymore, don't call us anymore, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all know how it works because it has happened to you. And I said, it's very interesting that they use the Bible and talk about unity, et cetera, and religion, but yet organized religion divides.
Yep.
Yes, it does.
And they say, I told them, I said, they say that the Most High is not the author of confusion, but division brings about confusion.
Yeah.
So if there's division, it's being caused amongst the brethren by this, then who is the author of this organized religion? If the Most High is not the author of it, who's the author of it?
That's right.
Things that make you go,
I would think it's the one that steals, kills, and destroys.
Yeah.
and I would say
Yep.
I agree with you 100%.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
just that's like the video that was in the group. I think it was last week where the two brothers were sitting there eating raw meat.
Yeah.
And we saw who was in
Oh.
that video with them.
Yes. Disgusting. That's not us.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
All right. Start asking questions, family. So in Kemet, the word used for life force, y'all, was Ka. Remember I did that teaching on Ka and the Ba? So check this out. Y'all remember? Let's go over this. The ancient Kemites called the vital force Ka. The Ka was created at the same time as the living body. Nzambi touched on this earlier. And represented the life force or essence of a person. We talked about, from what Brother Aaron says, the essence of who we are is different from other people, right? The word Heka is identical with the word. I know who wrote this because I see they got magic and they use that word magic. It's not really magic per se, but when you go into it and look at it, it's a Greek word. That's where you get the word magi from. It is not an evil connotation, even though they have made us to believe that it's a negative or evil connotation to it. When you really go down to the root, magi, M-A-G-I, the whom they call the three wise men. They also said the three magi. Why were they called wise? So we could go and look at that word magic, magi, and the root of it to see what it really means. It's not negative. and it's not evil or demonic, and includes the symbol for the word ka. And that's when you look at the ka, it's like these hands like this up in like a almost like a praise mode, so to speak, as they say, like that. So the ka now, heka is using spoken words to create. So they're calling it magic because you're speaking it, right? So if they're calling that evil, demonic, then they have to say that the Bible itself that they use is evil and demonic, because it's all throughout the Bible, them speaking. In John, wait a minute, John, I think it's the book of John. Yes, it says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God.
With God.
Uh-huh.
The word was God.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And the Word became flesh, and
Dwelt among us.
14 verse. Yeah.
and it
So with-
says that he uses his words to speak, to bring the world, into existence. It talks about that, which the Greek says the logos, right? Speaking, the heka, it's the same thing as heka. And then we talked about last week how in the Bible that it was Joshua that spoke to the sun and the moon and said, "Be still."
Yep.
And it stood still while they were out fighting. That's heka, or nomo, or speaking the word, right?
Yes.
So it's all throughout the Bible.
Yeah.
So you can't be hypocritical and say one is righteous and one is not. Now, come on now.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
that's how they operate. But trickery was used for us to associate anything that has to do with us or Africa as evil and demonic. And they have taken it upon themselves to use ours for evil and demonic purposes. We
Yes.
were supposed to, and we didn't initially.
So the ka is, and like with the Chinese would say chi.
Yes,
force.
yes, yes. And we talked about that last week, Elder.
And it's funny because when that force builds up and you see the power that a small person like Nzambi can break like 15 bricks, because that power force that you have within,
you channel it.
There you go.
And by the way, I
And let me
can
tell
break
you,
I
with
can
the
break
person-
15 bricks.
but you have to understand, which I've understand over the years, a person that knows how to tap into that, it's no way a human can touch them.
Exactly. Whew, man, you
Do
said
anything with them. That's how powerful it is.
yes.
No weapon.
For
Again.
say it, Elder.
Come
Say it,
on, come on.
Right. Go ahead.
But when you see that, I'm telling you, when you see it in action, and you be like, wow.
Yes.
So
Like,
now
yes.
you see why they wanted us to forget who we are as a people and what comprise us and the power we have and knowing who we are as gods and gods.
Yes.
You see
Yeah.
what?
If you forget who you are, you let your guards down and you allow yourself to be touched.
Yes.
But when you
Yeah.
remember who you are,
Who you are.
your guards come back up and
Yeah.
you cannot be touched.
Right. But when you're not tapped into the key,
Come on.
you have no force.
Into
Exactly.
And you tap into it, there you go.
Now,
There you go.
question here.
I love it.
Nzambi and Elder are into martial arts.
Oh,
Right. So I don't know if Elder has a black belt. I think you do, though, right, Elder?
yes.
Zombie got a black belt too some years ago. He hadn't practiced it in a while. I think Elder is still
You
practicing.
ain't gotta tell them I ain't practiced it. They think they can beat me up now.
You forget that. So you forget
I didn't say I
No.
forget. I said they think they can beat me up.
No,
Go ahead, baby.
no, because you all just so I can make him feel good. My baby was teaching this to me some years back, you know, because I told him to teach it to me for protection. If some man thought that he could come and overtake me, I would surprise him and beat his butt.
Yeah.
So I told him, teach it to me, you know, but he stopped for a reason we're not gonna say, you know.
Health reasons.
He said my legs were too dangerous when I kicked.
Health reasons. She was getting too close, Elder.
I understand.
Oh man.
All right, getting back to it, y'all.
Don't worry. Hey, don't worry about it. I stopped too. Hey, real quick. No. I got a real quick story. I was living in California. I was living in Watts, South Central. I was taking karate classes, and I asked my dad, could I wear my karate outfit to school? He told me no. But I think
Wore it anyway.
I wore it anyway. Yeah, I think I finagled my mother into letting me wear it. So I wore it to school. Now again, this is South Central Los Angeles. This is Watts.
Man.
I'm walking to school in the morning, and all of the kids is on the playground on the fence. And as I'm walking up, they all screaming and yelling. They see me walking with my karate outfit on. They start, hey, teach me some karate. Come fight me. You know, they start calling me Bruce Lee. Man, that was about 80 to 100 kids, man. I turned around and walked back home. That was the last day I wore that outfit. Every kid on the playground wanted to fight me because I wore that. Yeah.
This is a question that I want to ask you, and then I'm gonna make a statement first. I know in karate, you hear them making noise.
Yeah.
You came across broken up. We couldn't hear you.
I say in martial arts, you hear them making sound. You know, like that.
Right.
I just thought about y'all. In Christianity, when they said a spirit get on you, and you feel that hot force, force rising up, because this is what I want to ask you all. Do y'all feel hot when y'all feel that force rising up in you all, and you were able to break these bricks? Is it a sense of heat that you feel that rising up?
Yes.
Because this is the same thing that we feel. Get up, walk around. We feel when what they say, the spirit come upon you, because I'm not in Christianity, haven't been for years.
Right.
But I do know that I've been meditating for a while, and now if I don't do it, I miss it, because I love it because of the peace that I feel. So now I'm starting to feel a heat rise up within me as I meditate, especially when I begin to meditate on Nzambi. And certain things that I start to focus on concerning the Most High, I get hot. I feel real hot on the inside. And it's the same, I recognize it's the same thing I felt when we were in Christianity, and we get the shout and we say, the spirit is on me, and we get the prophesy. And my ears get the ring and ring. You all. So I just wanted to see, because you all was talking about, because we know that martial arts come from Africa. It's on the walls of Kenya. When they went in Asia, they took it over there. So, these other beings want to say, y'all think everything is yours. Well, we were the first ones that was created. Yes, everything came from us.
Right.
Get mad if you want to. It is what it is. Yes, it came from us.
Yes, it did.
Shaka
from
Zulu
us.
started.
Parts of Africa.
Yeah.
They still do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they talk about these different poses, yoga, that came from Kemet. And they said that that was demonic. No, it's not. When you
Yes.
research yoga,
Mhm.
it is you just reconnecting back to yourself. You know, learn
Mhm.
more about yourself. And we saw a man over in Africa when we went. We was on the boat, this ferry, or whatever it was. It had different levels. So that's why I said it may not have been called a ferry because it was huge. But listen, in the middle of the boat, he had all, I mean, his legs all behind his head. I mean, he's sitting there and he's just sitting there.
Mhm.
And he had his locks. All of this came from Africa. It's ours, you all. We just forgot about it.
And
These
that's
are-
a form of meditation.
yes, it's a form of meditation.
Yeah.
Because I got some moves real quick, you all, to do to help me with my stretching for my injury to do. And when I do them, I feel looser. But this came to me when right after I meditated. We do I am affirmations. And I started doing these stretches, and I was hearing things telling me to do different poses to do for myself. And after I did them, I felt looser.
Yep. Lighter. Mhm.
So these are ours to help us to connect to the inside of us. But yet they said it was demonic.
Mhm.
And they got businesses, the Mundelis, teaching this stuff, you all. But yet they tell us it's demonic. You see what has happened? We put it down, they picked it up. That was by design.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
This weather is messing with my allergies. I have allergies with every season, you all. And since this cold weather has been coming in and going back and forth, you know, where we're at is very schizophrenic, the weather. And we've been having cold weather and it's messing with my sinuses and stuff. So not sick, it's just messing with my sinuses. Allergies rather, because I have allergies doing this year too. So okay. Any questions or comments from what we just said? I know we have said a lot. So any questions, comments?
Soaking it in.
I know. I was soaking it in too, Elder, when it was coming to us and we were talking about it. It's some good stuff.
Yes.
And you know, I thank the ancestors of the light for just giving us revelation as we were sitting there talking. Revelation was coming to us, and then I started researching it, and it was confirmed what was given to us. And I like, thank you for opening our eyes to this.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about, you all. But dominion, we want to look at that word dominion. It means authority. Said, and the Most High said, let us make man, muntu, in our image, after our likeness, and let them who muntu have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, over all of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And Nzambi was talking about the different worlds. I heard him saying we have the worlds of fish, the worlds of the animals, etc. So we have dominions over these things.
Over all of that.
Yes.
Mhm.
So in the 27th verse, so the Most High created man, muntu, in his own image, in the image of the Most High, created he, him, male and female, created he, them. You see, he. Remember last time I told you this was the etymological dictionary stated that with the European term God, that the assignment of he or masculinity didn't come about until Christianity came. So you see it saying he. So with it being he, how did both male and female come out of it? No, it's a masculine and feminine energy. I showed you where that life force is an energy, right? Power, energy, what energy? So it's a masculine and feminine energy. That's where we get the male and female, the representative of him in this realm. We're representative of the creator in this realm. And when we come together, just like when the feminine and masculine energy come together, there's creation. When the female and the male in this realm come together, there's creation. Because we're created in their image. And in their likeness.
I had to get up, you all laughing so hard I was catching a cramp in my side. So I had to stretch.
He had to go do some yoga.
Oh, this is good.
Just kind of outside for about now, I guess off and on about a year now. I have been looking into trying yoga. And somebody had told us, and I had been looking at, different places and looking at different yoga poses. I even do them on YouTube. You find a lot of people from India that do them, and I do them to help with, my injury, because it really feels good when you do it. And somebody told us about comedic yoga. And I said, I never thought about looking at the comedic yoga. Because I was looking at going to do it, because I do it anyway with people on the YouTube. I follow them and do it. So I said, I'm going to check into that. So I started looking into it, and they were saying how it is used to help us to tap into that source, to what's inside of us. That was the purpose of it. It's a form, as Elder said, of meditation. Is what it is, because your focus is not only on the movements, but the focus is also on your breathing as well.
Yep.
Okay, so you getting in tune with who you are. You're going back within. So it's not demonic. It's not.
I couldn't see why it would be, because it's so helpful. And a friend of mine sent me a video of a young lady talking about, you do these poses, you actually inviting some spirit in, and it's like, that didn't even make sense. It's to scare you from it.
That's it.
And she was Bantu.
Yeah, that's what they have. So you have to look at the fact, who told you all these things.
There you go.
When you look at the word fetish, I told you all a while back that it was created during the 15th century. And I say you have to look at the time frame that these different words and stuff came about, and you'll learn a lot. So when you look at it, that fetish came about in the 15th century. What was going on in the 15th century that they refer to our spiritual system and things surrounding it as fetish? It's a Portuguese word that was invented during that time. And you'll see when you research it that it was created specifically for things that has to do with our spiritual science. 15th century. We know that they came down into Congo in around like 14th century. So you have to look at the time frame. So hath in these last days spoken unto us by his son. I want us to just take a look at this here. Hebrews 12 talking about the son. Now we looked at the world, so let's look at the son and see who the son, because he gave, it says, hath he in these last days spoke in the last days, the last dispensation, to his son, whom he hath appointed heir over all things. So who is this son? And also made the world's form. So who is this son that the creator gave heir or dominion over all things? Who is his son? Because in Christianity, we know that they'll say that it is the believers. Anybody that accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior is his, that's what they say. So let's look at it and see. So the word for son is, they say it's pronounced weos. See? Greek 5207, a Greek word. And translated is son of man, children, his son, his firstborn. So I'm showing you this for a reason. I got them highlighted for a reason, right? And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus says the Most High. Now, Pharaoh just simply to them means king or a leader, right? They want us to think that it has to do with our leaders when we were ruling. No, we know that during that time frame, during a particular time frame, that we had colonizers that came in and colonized our land and exerted themselves as kings and leaders of the great house. Remember that. It's not talking about us. Muntu right here, you all. It's talking about the Indo-Europeans that came in during this time. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus says Ntu, Nzambi, the Most High, the life force. Unto us, he said, Solele is who?
My son. Even my firstborn.
Family, who is the son? The widows.
Israel.
We are.
It's the scripture said, they scripture said, even my firstborn. And doesn't it say that son in this passage here is weos, and it means firstborn, son of Muntu? Even my firstborn is Solele. So that the heir is you. Muntu is us. And say unto thee, let my son go. Why? What was going on for this passage during this particular time? Now, they have changed up times and laws, and it takes so they think. So it takes, again, like I said, the spirit to give you a true revelation of what was going on. And I have seen how they've used Exodus. You think it's wait. No, they have changed times. This was during the time when we had foreigners ruling in our land, you all. And they were enslaving our people. This is that time. But they don't want you to know that because they done changed up things and hid things. So you can look at things in perspective and not think that it was your people doing this to you. No. No, it was they. These Grecians that came in during this time. And that's it, you all. That's all I had.
Right. Stop sharing. It's red.
Oh.
So there you have it. So this number 12, is representing us. It's talking about a solar day. Muntu. It's all about us, the children of the Most High, the chosen. And we have to rise up to who we are and what we have been given to do.
I also want to say, I forgot to say this though, when it talked about in the beginning was the word, and they said that the Greek word for word is logos, and they say it's word, but when I looked into it and it said that it is also, the term is used for a principle of order. And we were talking about the cosmic order, and I showed you who the cosmic order is. So it's saying that the logos was in two. It's not, as they say, you see how, not per se. So you see how they kind of use the seat to kind of, I don't think that in this case that it was the seat. It's just that they were trying to understand, because they stole our books. When Alexander the Greek came in, I was reading a book and it was talking about, and it helped me to understand, and I put it in the group too. It helped me to understand how we lost, because I'm like, how is it that our ancestors were so great that we fell down to this state and allowed such entities to be over us as great and powerful? What happened? So I was reading in this book, and it was talking about how when they came in and colonized that part of Africa, they were the Greeks was trying to understand our spirituality. They was using parts of it for themselves, in their spirituality. That's why you see they'll have the Greek gods, and you go and you'll find that there is a god, so to speak, I'm saying, in Kemet, not as they teach it though, in Kemet, that's equivalent to their Greek god. So they were trying to have understanding, because they said these are some very powerful people with some powerful teaching, and they wanted to go into our schools. They weren't supposed to, our spirituality, our spiritual science wasn't supposed to be written down. It was only certain people that were selected, because having this power and this knowledge, if used incorrectly, you can cause a lot of damage and harm in the universe and on people. It was never supposed to be really written down. And when it was written down, it was coded. So that's why you see these hieroglyphs and you have these different sayings that we have in Africa, these different phrases, what some people in the West world call riddles and things. And only those that were initiated understood the deeper esoteric meaning of it. And so this book was saying that, I forgot the different leaders' name, but they had come and taken over. And it was one particular man that took over. I have to get that book out and read it again. He allowed the merging of their way, their pagan ways with our ancestor ways. That was a merge. And then another European leader came about. And so, and it also said that they were trying to force their new way on our ancestors, and it was a group of them that would not allow it. And so he paid tribute to them because he wanted to change. And so when a new leader came on, he did away with all of that and said, this is what we're going to do. And they said during that time, they had taken our information, our spiritual science, what they had knew, and corrupted it. And you had at that particular time when that second leader came on, that book was saying Christianity was on the verge of coming. And then you had the Romans that came in power, hence they got the Christianity and they made it the Roman a law for it to be their religion. But it's a corrupted version of our spirituality, and they don't understand it. And so Alexander, when he came in with all the libraries that we had, actually the Greek word or the Latin word for library is bibliotheca. Look it up, research it. Bibliotheca. So you hear the word Bible in there. So it's just a library. It's a library of our spirituality that they have perverted. So it means books. Like that's simply what it is. Bibliotheca or something like that.
Biblioteca.
Yes. And it means library. It's translated as library. And you see that word Bible is in there.
Yeah.
But anyway, and they forced our ancestors, or either they killed them. Now, I'm not talking about in the 1500s, y'all, when they came to Congo and different. This was way back. So this stuff started way back longer than what we even know, when they were forcing their perverted ways on us. They said that they killed our ancestors if they didn't. So that's the reason why, and they enslaved them too. So they started running, Josephus said, deeper into Africa, because they were killing our people because they didn't want to take on these perverted ways here today. And the ones that did stay, they took on those ways, their perverted ways. Now, Christianity have changed over time too. It is morphed as well into what we have it today, but still it was a perverted form even back then. It's even more perverted now. And they have people doing, I said before, and it was something I came across, and I said, didn't I tell you they doing witchcraft in the church and they don't even know it? It was talking about, I know what it was. It was talking about our symbols in Africa. And it was saying, even though they're symbols, it still represent the real thing to us in Africa. Even though it's a symbol, it's the real things. And I told them, I said, so they said that the wine and the bread is a symbol. It's symbolic. It says here in the book of Timothy, here is the blood. Take and drink. Here's the wine, which represent my blood. Here, drink. And here's the bread, which represent or symbolic of my body. Here, eat. So you're eating the flesh and you're drinking the wine. That's done in witchcraft for power, riches, and among other things. So why do they have our people doing this here ritual in Christianity?
Because it's empowering them.
Their God. It's giving power to their God.
There you go.
And it's empowering them and enriching them. So the more our people stay in this perverted mess and do these perverted rituals, these rituals that have been perverted, they will continue to fuel the beast.
Yep.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's interesting, you know, because they need us to empower their God.
Yes.
Why? Because we are gods ourselves.
And the power is within
And
us,
exactly.
not them.
And so it's like plugging a lamp into a socket. So when we do their rituals, that's their socket that they're plugging into us, the power.
Mm.
And we're giving what they're plugging into us, we're giving it power.
Now, I want to say,
energy.
huh?
Yes.
Giving them our energy.
Yes.
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 Yes. That's exactly it.
That's it.
Exactly it. We giving them, they are tricking our people to give energy away.
Right.
Now, I do want to say this, the power, we are some powerful people.
Very.
Very powerful. The power that we have and the knowledge that we have too, because you can manipulate energy. That's how, when we cut on electricity, they have found out how to manipulate energy. Is that evil?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
But you can use that for evil, right?
Mhm.
You see people
Yeah.
throw people in the tub on TV and they throwing a
Yeah.
radio in the tub. That electricity is being used for what?
Evil.
Now, I said that for a
Evil.
reason. We are some powerful people, and our spirituality is powerful. Our spiritual science is powerful. It is not, should not, was not meant to be used for evil, even though it is being done and used for evil in Africa, amongst our people, and also by the Mundelas, the little bit they have learned, and they have our people that are in organized religion doing it for evil too.
Mhm.
It was not meant for evil, you all.
Yep. That's right. I told you we learned their ways all too well.
Yep.
We live amongst them, and they're on the continent living amongst our people and have taught them their ways.
Their ways.
Yep.
We got to break free, family. We got to break free from it. Their ways are not ours.
Right.
So I think we held this long enough. Everybody stay on. But family on YouTube, Facebook, we hope that you enjoyed this and really think about, you know, what has been shared and said. You are the kingdoms, the 12 kingdoms. So
Hallelujah.
rise up, take your power back and walk in it. All right. We love you. May you be increased, and may Tata Nzambi and Mama Ndombe continue to guide you, direct you, and hear from them, listen and speak to them, because they are right there ready to help you and to guide you. All right. Love you and speak to you soon. BASSEH.
BASSEH. BASSEH.
Bye.
Gotta say.
BASSEH.